Today we are talking about what is a photo estate. And it's a topic that's near and dear to our hearts here at Pixologie because this is the work that we do at our offices in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We will have time for some questions at the end. So if you want to drop them in there, Corinne's going to help me and we'll get those things answered for you. And maybe you might think of an example of something you've done that actually kind of qualifies as a photo estate as you learn about this. Definitely put that in the comments too, because the experiences you've had with your pictures might help someone else who's watching today. So let us go ahead and get started. We're not just organizing pictures when we work on our family photos. There's something deeper happening when we preserve these pictures. The things that are captured in our photos and film and video, these things are integral to passing down family values, celebrating the best in life, and connecting generations. The work that we do here at Pixology is so much more than sorting through photos and scanning them. In fact, we're celebrating 10 years of helping people save their memories here. And about 3 or 4 years ago, we realized that we needed to communicate something differently about saving photos because, organizing photos is a task that many people have. But actually seeing like an end goal is hard because there's so many things that we have to manage with our memories. So we worked hard. My former business partner, Ann Matuzak, and I worked hard on coming up with the photo estate and helping people understand that it's more than just sifting through your pictures one day when you can get to it. This is something you need to start working on today, especially while there's people in your family who are still around to help tell the story of some of those older pictures. So, it's what we do here. We help people create photo estates, and we've been doing this now for 3 4 years since we established the idea and the concept of what a photo estate is. I wanted to tell you that photo estate services can be costly when you consider all of the time that it takes to work on a photo collection. I know many clients have spent hours and weeks, and sometimes the project spans years as you try to get the work done. We tell people who are interested in our services that the cost ranges between $1 and $2 per photo to create a photo estate. Now, some people have thousands of pictures, and you can imagine that that does start to add up. We believe so strongly in our system and this information and motivating people to work on their pictures that we share our system, on the YouTube channel here, as well as we have books. So you can go to Amazon right now and order the Creating Your Photo Estate book for like $10. And I just tell you how to do it in there. So we have these resources because we really want people to save their pictures today. Now, let's talk about what a photo estate is. And some of this will probably not be, rocket science or new to you, but hopefully it'll make you think about your pictures in a little bit of a different way. We consider a photo estate to be a printed or digital collection of photos, film, video, documents, and memorabilia that's organized in a manner. So, organized is the key word there, in a manner that allows another person or persons to view the photos, okay, to look at them, and then to learn about the lives documented and be impacted by the legacy of those people. So there is a lot in there to to kind of digest, but our pictures are our way of passing on the visuals to the future generations that come in our family, and other people in the world who might be interested in knowing your story. You can create a photo estate for you, yourself, your family, or another family member. It kind of depends on how you like to organize things, but I have a few examples here that outline, how I've done it in my life. I have the Harms family photo estate, which is my mother-in-law's side of the family. I have my mom's photo estate, which includes all of, her growing up pictures, her grandparents information, documents, old portraits, and things like that. And then I have our photo estate, my husband and I, the pictures that we have, from uh I do have some of our growing up years, and I also have our dating years, starting a family, some career pictures in there, and more. So you can have a photo estate for multiple people, or you could have one that encompasses everything. The photo estate, it can include the portraits of parents, grandparents, great grandparents, and potentially aunts, great aunts, uncles, great uncles. There are some people in our family who did not have any children, and preserving their story is important too. Gathering photos of the growing up years from the different generations will be important, and having a few or many photos from each year of adult life, family life, important events, and career can also, be a part of it. Photos that show your traditions or service or religious milestones, holiday celebrations, cultural events. You want to have some of those in there. And pictures of the places that you've lived through the years or that your parents or other ancestors lived before you. And of course, having some photos of the places the people in your family have traveled of significance, especially if you know where they are and there's significant landmarks, those are really interesting as well. And you also want to have memorabilia and important documents could be a part of the photo estate. We've seen naturalization papers, very old birth certificates, documents in different languages. That is all very interesting, to preserve. We also we'll want to include film and video and audio files that might go along with it as well. So, in this little graphic here, I'm just showing some memorabilia that was from my dad's side. I've got his service ID card, and I have my grandfather's original passport, which is in German, to come over to the United States. So there's a lot of things that can be in there. Now, the photo estate work, what I'm showing here is just one example where we've gathered all of the bins together our client did, and he brought them in, and we organized all of those materials, and you wouldn't expect that there would have been this much, but there was a lot in there, and we organized it, and then we're able to return it to him in the archival boxes on the right hand side. Your photo estate could be small or it could be huge, and we do have a master class on organizing photos if you want to tackle everything. People who tackle their whole photo collection and organize it and curate it and scan it, they are working on a photo estate. It's just I haven't really used that word in my YouTube channel too much because I just haven't, and this is partly why I'm doing the program today. So, what does the collection look like? So when you're done, what is this going to look like? And I say when you're done, in case you want to do this yourself, or if you hire someone to do it, you should expect things to look similar to this following slides that I show you. So, first of all, once everything is organized and scanned, it's going to be stored in archival boxes, most likely. The majority of our clients who have photo estate services do like to have the legacy boxes, these archival boxes, to store their items in. Each box holds about 2,300 photos, and some of the boxes might just hold envelopes of larger items. So we'll put a link in there. If you go to our website, you can place an order for these boxes there. Sometimes people don't save the old pictures, and that's entirely your decision. The next way that you might view your collection is really the least fun way, okay? So after everything's been digitized, scanned or transferred, the files will end up in folders. And so if you look here, you can see on the left-hand side, I've got a list of folders. And then inside each of those folders will be nested folders of the years or subcategories. Okay. And you can view the folders on your computer. They should be backed up to an external hard drive. Maybe you're going to share this collection with someone else. You can pass on an external hard drive. But this is not fun. It's not fun to look at. It's not visual. And you don't really get a good sense of your family history this way. But it is important because that backup, you want to have that in your home and potentially a copy outside of your home. I will say that the left-hand side might look familiar because this is what we teach in our digital photo organization, having a master folder with those pictures in it. So I believe I have, yep, whoops, I went too far. I just put a line in there. A photo estate is pretty much equal to the master family photos folder that we've taught in our other YouTube programs, just as an FYI. Okay, so that is the second way that you might be looking at your collection. The third way that we include in our photo estate services is taking those folders and then uploading them to forever permanent storage. This company does guarantee to migrate the photos and film and videos and documents to the newest technology for our clients, lifetime plus 100 years. It's also easy to share albums with other people in the family. Other family members can be friends and family connected to you through forever. So it's what we have found the easiest to work with. So that's the three ways that we include with our photo estate services. And then there's two more ways that you might view your collection, and it involves using some of it, not all of it. Okay. So you may want to have a photo book. All right. And that's our first idea here. On the left-hand side, you can see there's just a screenshot from a photo book, and it's using pictures that were collected. Pretty simple. The middle and the third picture to the right there, these are clients who organized their photos in batches, gave them to us using the batches they created. So they did the organization themselves. We scanned and created the photo books for them. So those are two examples of, well, I guess there's three examples of photo books there. The next type of what I call, a print example, something tangible that you can hold in your hand, that's not thousands of, loose pictures or pictures in a box. The next tangible item is actually creating like a full family history book. And this is a little bit more in depth of a project. But in the case here, this is the same gentleman I showed you early on. We organized his photos, and then he wanted a full family history book. His ancestors go deep back actually to the settling of Southampton. It's the first European settlement in New England, and they're very proud of that. They also had people in their family who were university presidents and other big things. So we took the pictures and were able to flesh out the stories for his family's legacy, and he just was thrilled. And the nice thing with photo books and a book like this is you can get multiple copies and then send it off to people. And who doesn't enjoy looking through a family history book? It's fantastic. Now, I just threw this in there because sometimes you want to know, how many photos does a photo estate include? Truly, it doesn't have to be a huge amount. Okay, you don't have to have a huge amount of pictures. Even 100 photos might do the trick if they're the strategically throughout a person's life. And for some of our ancestors, we don't have many pictures at all. So it doesn't have to be huge. I will say that the people I meet typically have between 7,500 and 20,000 photos in their photo estate. That's a lot of photos. And you can see how hiring someone to work with all of that can get a little pricey. And that's why we share our system. So I wanted to, in this program, kind of give you some steps on a shortcut to create a photo estate. Okay. In the other places on YouTube that I talk about, our master class of organizing photos once and for all, that process of organizing everything can take, months, even years to complete. So I thought it would be helpful to just throw in a shortcut method to create a photo estate. Okay. And we'll see if this is helpful, because sometimes you need something a little quicker than, going through everything. So let me just kind of dive into this here for you. I have these shortcut steps. All right. There's 5 steps. You want to determine the categories of photos you need for the person or family that you are creating the photo estate for. So, we're going to talk about that. You want to then gather photos and documents for each category. All right. And you don't need a lot for each category, 4 to 10 items at the most, if we're doing this quickly. Okay. So you're going to gather photos for each category. You're going to place those items in folders, and that's preparing you for the scanning of those batches of pictures or documents. And then each batch will be a page or 2 or maybe 3 or 4 in a photo book. So you'll create a photo book with 1 to 4 pages per category batch. Let me just share a couple screenshots here. So under the examples area on the left-hand side, these are examples of categories that you could have for the photo estate. You can have the person's great-grandparents and their grandparents and their parents, growing up years, college work, wedding photos, parenthood, all down the line there. You could have a category for each decade of the person's life. You just want to kind of pick some categories and outline it for yourself. Then your job is going to be, and I don't like recommending this, but if we're going to get this done fast in the shortcut method, we have to do it this way. You're going to go through what I am showing in the middle is all your albums and your bins, and you're going to go find items for each of those categories. Okay. And you're going to put those items in like a file folder, which I have an accordion style folder to the right there. And you're going to just fill that up with items. When When you remove those items from an album or a bin or a box in the middle, I would put a note that you want to return them back there when you're done. Okay. Or you may just choose to leave the accordion style folder with the items in there. That's up to you on how you do it. But the point is you want to end up with a series of folders for each category with a few items in each of them. All right. And then you're going to scan them. And most of you probably know that we like the Epson Fast Photos 680W scanner. You might need a flatbed scanner for some of the fragile items. And you're going to scan those items, and they will be folders on your computer. Then you create the photo book. So on the right hand side, I just am sharing an outline. I like to have outlines when we do photo books so that we know what's going to go on each page. So I don't know if you remember, but service is one of the listings I think that I showed in a previous thing. My dad served in the military, so the category military, I have pictures from his naval service and a postcard that he sent, and I think his discharge paperwork. So just enough so that when someone opens this photo book, they know what I'm referring to. They know my dad served and when and where. So it's just enough to give a little bit of information. In the shortcut method, we're not trying to cover every last detail. And that just goes for the other places, that the other categories that you have. So let's see here. This is a really simple photo book. I'm just showing the cover on the left-hand side, and then the one page from the inside. My dad as a young adult, and then he's dating my mom, and they married in 1972. That's really all I have to put in there. It's all I chose to. Let me put it that way. I actually have hundreds of pictures of my dad, but I didn't wanna have, a huge photo estate. I wanted to be able to put his pictures in a book to share with my family after he died. So that's an example of, the simple photo book. We have two resources for you. And if you go to our website under tools, there is something called the photo book planning sheet. This is a fantastic little document where you can jot out what you want to have on each page. This can also be where you jot out your categories if you wanted. If you know that your goal is to create a book out of the items that you're saving in this photo estate. I also have a resource on Amazon. It's just a book about creating a memorable photo book. And in there, I have many outlines of, different ways you could approach making a photo book, which programs you can use, and that is a great resource. In fact, I always hear, and I see people making quick photo books. We have clients bring in photo books that are, of the maybe the first year of a grandchild's life, but there's nothing documented in there. And when we make a photo book here for our clients, we really want it to be preserving history, passing the legacy down, and that's what this resource, this book is about. All right. Do we have any questions? And as Corinne looks there, I'll let her put that in there. I will just mention, if you need a plan to get your pictures organized once and for all, I'm happy to chat with people. You can make an appointment, and we can see if we can help you further. So, all right. Do we have any questions? No questions for today. If you are watching this later and you think of something, don't hesitate to throw it in the comments. We do get those, and we will reply to them. And it might be the topic of a future live program. So, all right, then I'm thinking next week's topic is going to be related to artificial intelligence and our photos. It's coming, and boy, don't we hear about this in the news. It's unbelievable what technology is able to do, and I'm going to give you the lowdown on it. All right, you guys have a great week, and then we will see you the next time. And thank you, Myra, for for commenting there. We really appreciate it. All right, happy photo saving, and we'll see you again.